Hey, my name is Chris Lambert, and I am co-host of Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, the #1 Kanye West podcast. And this is a video essay titled Jay and Ye, or I guess it's down here. Yeah, Jay and Ye, Everything Isn't Love. And this is getting into the shots that Jay seemed to take at Kanye on Jay and Beyonce's new album, Everything Is Love. So a little bit of backstory on the relationship between Kanye and Jay-Z, though I think most of us are familiar with this. Jay and Kanye started working together in 2000, became close very quickly. Kanye called Jay-Z Big Brother. Jay-Z still to this day refers to Kanye as his little brother. The first documented tension between them, at least from both of them, was on Graduation. Kanye released the track Big Brother, which was an overview of Kanye coming up in the rap game and how Jay went from being his big brother to somebody that he was kind of competing with. And it led to this falling out after Kanye talked shit on Jay-Z. So this track was a way of mending the fences, getting things back on track. And very soon after that, the two of them were working together again, being seen together. Kanye produced, I think, something like 8 songs on the Blueprint 3, which came out in 2009. And then the two of them really took the world by storm when Watch the Throne came out in 2011. And that was really this height of the Jay-Z, Kanye, big brother, little brother relationship. We're seeing them in the Otis music video. They're on In Paris together, just going wild. The tour was crazy. But even in this time where it was the height of their relationship, there were stories coming out that there had been creative differences on the album that were leading to stress in the relationship. There was talk that even the tour itself was causing stress on the relationship. So it was no surprise in 2011, 2012, 2013, you didn't see much of Kanye and Jay-Z hanging out outside of the tour. But then you get to 2014, and this is the real sign that things may not have been great following the end of the Watch the Throne project. Kanye gets married to Kim Kardashian. His wedding day, full of excitement, has all his friends and family there except Jay-Z. Jay's not at the wedding, citing some excuse about not being able to go. And after that, you really didn't see Jay and Kanye interacting the same way. Even before that, things felt a little off until the wedding where you're like, oh, things are definitely off. And then the next real thing was 2016, days before Kanye's breakdown in Sacramento, or San Jose, one of the two places. He went on stage, or was on stage during the St. Pablo performance, and went on a rant, and he talked about, Jay, I know you got killers, don't send your killers at me. Why haven't Blue and Nori played together? It hurt me that after Kim's robbery, you didn't come see me, you only called. Beyonce, I'm hurt because I heard that you weren't going to perform unless you won the award for best music video over me and other people. And I get the Jay-Z call-outs, but the Beyonce call-out was a rumor that Kanye had been told, but hadn't confirmed with Beyonce, didn't know if it was true, but said it on stage. And Jay really took offense at this. And some people give Kanye the benefit of the doubt with the fact that days later he was hospitalized. We know he was dealing with undiagnosed bipolar, or that he was undiagnosed bipolar and was dealing with that. He was using opioids, according to him, was sleep deprived, just not in a good place. But then he still talked about Jay and Beyonce publicly, out loud, shit that's private he aired to the public. So it was no surprise then on 444 that Jay-Z took some shots at Kanye. Famously, the ones that were most talked about were on Kill Jay-Z. About, you gave Ye 20 million, he gave you 20 minutes on stage, what the fuck's up with that? Some people tried to read more into some of the early lyrics about being a college dropout. Some argue that that was applicable to Jay-Z only. Others said that it was dual, that he was also taking shots at Kanye. One of the things that wasn't talked about a lot was Moonlight. I didn't really see anybody cite Moonlight as a song where Jay was taking shots at Kanye, which may be that Jay wasn't taking shots at Kanye, or it just kind of flew under the radar. But just to point out a few lines, "Look, I know killers, you know killer, huh?" I mean, that's a direct reference to what Kanye was saying on stage. Like, Jay, I know you got killers. So to start the verse this way seems to be calling out Kanye immediately. Bathing ape, maybe not a gorilla. From Watch the Throne, in Paris has the famous line, "We going gorillas, huh?" Which was Kanye's like most quoted line. It was said a lot of the time in 2011. We going gorillas, let's go gorilla. Like, people were throwing it around. So if you're taking shots at Kanye and saying that maybe he's not a gorilla, right? Like, we were gorillas at that time, but it looks like you're not. Like, you're more of a bathing ape. And bathing ape might seem like a weird choice of words, but the first shoe that Kanye ever collaborated on was the Baptista? I don't know how to say that. Whatchamacallit? Dropout Bear. And it's nicknamed a Bape. So Bape, bathing ape, they sound very close. And if it's something that you know your friend is going to understand, because I'm sure that Jay and Kanye have talked about the Bape before, it seems a little bit more pointed, especially with the context of I know killers. And then you get Stop Walking Around Like Y'all Made Thriller. Kanye over and over again refers to himself as being the next Michael Jackson, like Mike, the only rapper compared to Michael. All the time, Kanye has a well-known Michael Jackson infatuation. So that seems, in the context of everything else, again pointed at Kanye. And then the rest of it, I don't really know enough to say if it just moves on to other topics or there are some more little shots at Kanye here. But I think that's enough to show that there's a little bit of context. And these lines are going to be important for the next part when we get into apeshits. So despite in 2018 Jay-Z doing the interview with David Letterman, where he said, Kanye is my little brother, he's always going to be my little brother. In that interview, he asked Letterman, have you ever had a falling out with a brother? And Letterman said, I'll let you know when it's over, to which Jay-Z laughed and said, exactly, which seemed to imply that there was still tension. Recently, Kanye went on to, or did an interview with Charlemagne the God in which he talked more about tensions with Jay, a little bit about Jay missing his wedding and how that made him feel, which if Jay is sensitive to Kanye speaking about the relationship in any kind of media or public way, it would kind of make sense that he would take more offense at that again. And maybe they still have some unresolved tension. Oh, yeah, yay. Kanye's album that came out on June 1st has a few shots at Jay-Z. Low-key, but they're there. And we have a source that was on the audio engineering team that worked on Ye, who confirmed with us, at least from what he knew, that these were shots at Jay-Z. Part of that, I Thought About Killing You, being the first track on Ye, when the first track on 444 was Kill Jay-Z. And there are a few things in the lyrics of I Thought About Killing You that seem applicable to Jay. And then Wouldn't Leave talks about Kanye's wife being faithful, not leaving him when he fucks up. And the end of that song, he praises all the women that stood by their man when the guy acts like an idiot, which our source said was a bit of a dig at Jay-Z and a bit of a solidarity with Beyonce. So I don't think those things would necessarily be lost on Jay-Z. The question is, that album came out on June 1st. Everything Is Love dropped June 16th. Is that enough time for Jay to make changes to whatever verses he was doing for this album? Would he care enough to rewrite anything? So there's some time frame questions, but we still know that there was tension overall. I don't think that's in doubt. It's not like the two of them were best friends again in 2018. There's still been that Cold War. So In Paris was by far the hit song from Watch the Throne. It's the song that's still most associated with that album, and it was kind of this highlight moment for Jay-Z and Kanye as a duo. And Going Gorillas was one of the key lines from that song. So lo and behold, Everything Is Love comes out, and the hit song that they're pushing, that they dropped the music video with first, is Ape Shit. Seems a little coincidental to have one song about Going Gorillas, another Ape Shit, and you have a bit of a reference to it on Moonlight with Not a Gorilla, Bathing Ape. It seems like it was at least on Jay-Z's mind. And then the song has the most attitude. It's Beyonce and Jay going back and forth, this pump-up kind of club song, very much in the vein of what In Paris was going for. And to kind of solidify it, you even have them filming the music video for Ape Shit in the Louvre, which is in Paris. They legitimately went to Paris and filmed this music video. So I think the phrasing, the attitude, the location of the music video, and the fact that later on the album they refer to Watch the Thrones being Jay-Z and Beyonce now, this seems like they are remaking In Paris, or at least taking possession of it for themselves. It's no longer a Jay and Kanye thing. This is now a Jay and Beyonce thing. People aren't going to listen to that song anymore. They're going to listen to this song, which might be a biased way of reading into it. They may have just thought that song did really good the first time. Let's put one on this album and just kind of update it with our style. But given the other shots that we maybe see and the tension between them, I think you can understand why there might be a bit more of an edge to that. So for the next song, Friends, some of the context, Kanye, when talking to Charlemagne the God, said, "I was hurt about them not coming to the wedding. I understand they were going through some things, but if it's family, you're not going to miss a wedding. I'm not using this interview to put out any negative things, but I gotta state my truth. You just start coming up with all type of crazy things in your head, like why?" So then you get this song, Friends, that comes up. It seems like they're going to talk about their friends, right? And on the one hand, this song does act as more of a club anthem, a pregame anthem. It's something that you can see groups of friends singing together before they go out, or even when they're already out. Like, my friends, real friends, better than your friends. That's how we keep popping out the bends. Like, that's shit that people are going to be into in that anthemic kind of way. But two little interesting moments. Real Friends was one of the most popular songs from the life of Pablo, and it's been a pop culture phrase, I think, associated with Kanye these last 2 years. So for them to use Real Friends could just be nothing, could be a little bit of a, hey, hey. Add into that Never Let Me Down is another phrase that, could be standard, common, but it was also the song from The College Dropouts that was Kanye's first song with Jay-Z. So having Real Friends, having Never Let Me Down, calling back to that first Kanye song with Jay. Coincidence? Pointed? I don't know. But when we get to Jay's part, by the end of it, he has these lines: I ain't going to nobody nothing when me and my wife beefin'. I don't care if the house on fire, I'm dying, I ain't leaving. And you remember what Kanye said: I understand they were going through some things, but if it's family, you're not going to miss a wedding. And here Jay refers directly to him and his wife having issues and not going to nobody's nothing. Wedding, funeral, birthday party, graduation celebration, whatever it is, he's not going to it. So the two seem very... one's a response to the other, I think. He has the tie take care of my kids after he done grieving, which just seems to be a little bit of a transition line. And maybe a bit pointed in the fact that, like, it's not going to be you, Kanye. It's going to be Ty that takes care of my kids, because Ty is the one that's been there. He even mentions up here that Ty was there when Mama died, or Ty was there when his nephew died. Jay was there for Ty when his mama died. He lists Ty, E, Breezy, Juan, Hai, Chaka, Law. They all there. Dez, Quana, no Kanye. Maybe a bit pointed again to not mention the guy that you referred to as your little brother, and then to close out this verse about your friends, saying, like, I'm not going to go to your wedding, and if y'all don't understand that, we ain't meant to be friends. And I could see a counter argument that, like, Jay and Kanye aren't friends, right? They're brothers. Jay said that, Kanye's his little brother, so this isn't applicable. But just because you're family doesn't mean you're friends, right? Like, I have cousins that are my family, but we're not friends. I think we all kind of understand that. I'm an only child, but I'm sure I do know people that have siblings that they're not on good terms with. So, is this another pointed shot? I kind of think so. And then we get to Love Happy. And Love Happy is the final track from Everything Is Love. And on it, Beyonce and Jay-Z go back and forth in a way that they hadn't on any other part of the album. On the rest of the album, they each have their verse or each have their section. But this is the one song where they finish each other's lines, that they're actually talking in verses together, which may sound familiar because that's exactly what happens on Why I Love You, the closing track of Watch the Throne, where it starts off Jay-Z, but by the last two verses, Jay-Z and Kanye are going back and forth on verses, finishing thoughts, finishing lines. So it's kind of funny that you see both albums have early on a In Paris and an Ape Shit, and both albums close with a Why I Love You, Love Happy, where the two go back and forth. If you're looking for a Watch the Throne 2, or at least a Watch the Throne remake, it seems to be that Jay and Beyonce were at least conscious of imitating the style of Jay and Kanye's record. But then at the end of this first verse, you get Move the Whole Family West, but it's whatever. In a glass house still throwing stones, Hova, Beezus, Watch the Thrones, Happy in Love. Move the Whole Family West? I mean, we know that Jay's a very clever lyricist. Sometimes his lines have 2 meanings, 3 meanings, 4 meanings. He gets complex with a lot of his allusions, metaphors, word choice, wordplay. So Move the Whole Family West, and then 2 lines later, renaming your wife Beezus, which is a play on Kanye's 7th album, Yeezus, and then saying Watch the Thrones when it had been Jay and Kanye as Watch the Throne. It seems that this is a pointed statement of, it's now me and my wife, and she's Beezus. Like, you're Yeezus, she's Beezus. She literally takes over one of Kanye's names. And it makes the line, "Move the whole family west," seem more of a "you left, you went away," with the clever West being a call out to Kanye. But it's whatever. Like, Jay-Z dismisses him. "In a glass house, still throwing stones," which seems to be a call out back to "Why I Love You." Got body armor, a guy got to watch the throne, and I'm bussing back, so people in a glass house should not throw stones. I mean, the line there is, if you say something about me, if you come at me, I'm going to come at you. So, like, you're vulnerable. Like, don't throw stones when you're in that glass house. And we know that Jay-Z's been mad at Kanye for speaking out about Jay when Kanye's been doing a lot of shit that I think falls under the category of in a glass house throwing stones. Kanye's been gaining a lot of controversy for his tweets, TMZ, Trump support, things that he's done personally with Jay-Z that seem to have rubbed Jay-Z the wrong way. So he fits the description of being in a glass house still throwing stones. Even with the most recent Charlemagne the God interview, I think that could fall under the description of being in a glass house throwing stones. So, yeah. I mean, it just seems that there are little moments throughout the album that hint at a kind of "fuck you, Kanye," and this seems to be the final statement of a, "Hey, you moved west, you're gone, you're in a glass house throwing stones, I'm busting back. Like, you've lost your throne. It's now me and Beyonce." Like, that's what I get from this. Maybe somebody's getting something else, another reading, less negative towards Kanye, more neutral. If you have that reading of it, please let me know why and what you're thinking. But I think that kind of wraps up what was going on in Everything Is Love, and it seems to be that everything is not love between Jay-Z and Kanye. You would hope, if you're a fan of them, that at this point they would have just let bygones be bygones. Whatever shots that Kanye took at Jay-Z on Ye weren't that bad. At least they don't seem as bad as what was said on 444. But these seem a little bit more like I'm done. Like, see ya. We'll see. I guess we'll see. And if you are enjoying this analysis, you may like the analysis we just did with the Yeezus book, a narrative, thematic, and sonic deconstruction of Yeezus. It's not only a book of scholarship, it's a coffee table book with all these pretty awesome images and arts. It's intense graphic design elements throughout it. So you're not just reading some bland academic book. And the writing style in it by myself, Travis Bean, Martin Connor from Rap Analysis, and Donald Martin, who runs the Most Unruly YouTube channel, is very conversational as well as informative. So it's like having a talk about Yeezus, much more so than just being lectured to about Yeezus. And then you get all this awesome art. So if you're interested in purchasing a copy of that, the ebook version is available on Amazon right now. The paperback is available on kingshotpress.com and will be on Amazon sometime in the next week. But the, paperback is definitely the way to go. But if you just want the book right away to kind of read through, the Kindle book scratches that itch. It doesn't have as much art as the paperback does, and it doesn't quite have the design elements of the paperback, but you get all the information and a lot of the images. So that does it for this video. If you have any other topics that you want us to talk about that are Kanye related, or just anything related, let me know. I'll do my best. Thanks for watching. Cheers.